I got this story firsthand from two people who genuinely care about each other. They each had a different vision for their future, but this is how things actually played out. Today's the day I've been waiting for. It feels like I've been dreaming about it forever. Everything is just as I pictured. The lights have that perfect glow, the decorations are lovely, and the people who matter most to us are here in our home, all just waiting for Jacob to show up. There's this electric buzz in the air, the kind that makes your heart pound and drags every second into what feels like hours. I've always been good at keeping secrets, but this is the biggest one yet, and I'm barely holding it together, itching to finally tell him. Jacob and I have been together for 5 solid years, building a life step by step. We've shared it all, our home, our dreams, everything except for that last bit that would make it official, marriage. From the beginning, Jacob's been open about his stance. He wasn't interested in marriage. He'd had a rough time back in college that left him a little hesitant. But people change, right? I always believed that, with enough time, he'd come around. And now I know he will. Because today isn't just about me proposing. It's about something even bigger. I'm pregnant. We're going to have a baby. Honestly, I'm still wrapping my head around it. When I saw that positive test a few weeks ago, my first thought was, this is it. This is the moment where everything shifts. Jacob's going to be a dad. And once he knows that, marriage won't be something he can just say no to. It's like everything's falling into place. Like this is exactly the way it was meant to happen. I glance around the living room. My parents are deep in conversation with both of our moms fussing over the decorations, while our closest friends are hanging out by the snacks, laughing and sipping their drinks. It's a small, cozy gathering, nothing too extravagant, just enough to make it feel special. I didn't want Jacob to feel overwhelmed by it all, though knowing him, he might still be a little taken aback. But I know him well enough to be sure of one thing. Once he hears the news, he'll understand that this is the next chapter for us. How could he not? He loves me. We've built this life together, and marriage is just the final piece to seal it all. And with a baby on the way, well, the timing couldn't be more perfect. I've pictured this moment 1,000 times in my head, and every time it ends the same way, Jacob saying yes, pulling me close, and everyone cheering as we take this huge step forward together. My fingers brush against the little velvet box in my pocket. I've had the ring for a while now, and every time I've looked at it, I've imagined the look on Jacob's face when I finally ask him. Sure, he'll be surprised, probably even a bit speechless, knowing him. But eventually, he'll give me that smile I love, the one that says he's in, even if he didn't see it coming. I hear the sound of a car pulling up outside, and my heart skips a beat. This is it. I quickly smooth down my dress and take one last look around. Our parents are already turning toward the door, whispering in excitement. The door swings open, and Jacob steps inside, his face a mix of curiosity and confusion as he takes in the lights, the decorations, and all the people. He has no clue what's coming. As I walk up to the house, laughter and conversation are spilling out through the windows. I'm doing my best to act calm, like I'm totally on board, but seeing all those cars parked outside makes me uneasy. I've never been big on surprises, and whatever this is, it sure feels like one. I open the front door, and the first thing I see is the setup, balloons, streamers, the whole deal. The living room's packed with people, our parents, friends, all mingling and smiling like this is some kind of party. What on earth is going on? Then I spot Lily. She's glowing, practically beaming as she comes over to me with that bright smile I know so well. Hey babe, she says, wrapping me in a tight hug. I hug her back, but my mind is racing, trying to piece together what this is all about. Did I forget something? Lily steps back, still smiling, her eyes shining with something, maybe excitement? I can't quite read it. It's a surprise, she teases, clearly loving every second of keeping me in the dark. A surprise, just what I needed after a long day. But I force a smile, because what else can I do? I can't just turn around and leave my own house. Everyone here seems to be waiting for something, and whatever it is, it means a lot to Lily. So, I decide to play along. The party drags on, but I can't shake this nagging feeling that something major is about to go down. Lily keeps glancing over at me, that smile never fading, but she won't drop a single hint about what's up. I keep racking my brain, wondering if I missed some big occasion, but nothing's coming to mind. Just when I start thinking this might just be a casual get-together, Lily steps to the front of the room, and everyone quiets down. She actually looks a bit nervous, which is unusual for her. She's usually so self-assured, almost to the point of being a little smug. I feel my stomach twist. And then, she gets down on one knee. "Lily, what are you?" I start to ask, but she cuts me off. "Jacob," she says, looking up at me with these big, hopeful eyes. "I love you. We've had 5 incredible years together, and I can't imagine my life without you. You're my everything, and I want to spend the rest of my life with you." No, no, no. This can't be happening. My chest tightens. She knows exactly how I feel about marriage. I've been upfront about it since day one. What is she thinking? Before I can get a word in, she reaches into her pocket, pulls out a little box, and flips it open to show a ring. "I'm asking you to marry me." For a moment, the room blurs. Everyone's watching me, smiling, clearly expecting me to sweep her up and say yes, but all I can think is, why? Why would she do this knowing how I feel? I reach down, take her hand, and gently pull her to her feet. "Lily, can we talk? In private." I try to keep my voice steady. The smiles around us falter, replaced by confusion, but I can't have this conversation in front of everyone. Not like this. I lead her into the kitchen, away from all the staring eyes. "What are you doing?" I ask once we're alone. "You know I don't want to get married. We've talked about this." Lily's expression shifts. There's something like fear or maybe frustration in her eyes. "Jacob, I want to start a family with you. I'm pregnant." I let out a dry, humorless laugh, not because it's funny, but because I don't know what else to do. Did she really think springing this on me would change everything? "Come on, Lily. You should have known better than that." Her face falls, and before she can respond, I turn and head back to the living room. "Lily has an announcement to make," I say loudly, catching everyone's attention. As I walk back into the room, I'm flooded with a mix of feelings. The decorations are just as I'd pictured them, balloons floating, streamers hanging, and the comforting smell of my mom's famous pasta filling the air. Everyone's chatting and laughing, and for a second, everything feels just right. This is the day I've been waiting for, the day I finally get to share my big news. "Everyone!" I call out, my heart racing. "I have some amazing news." I catch my parents exchanging excited looks, and I see my friends leaning in, eager to hear what I'm about to say. My eyes meet Jacob's, and he looks a little puzzled, but I brush it off. Nothing is going to ruin this moment for me. "I'm pregnant," I blurt out, the words spilling out in a rush of joy. "And I want to start a family with Jacob." Cheers break out around me. My parents hug each other, my friends clap, their faces bright with smiles. I turn toward Jacob, expecting him to be caught up in the excitement too, but he just stands there, his expression unreadable. "Wait," he says, and instantly, the room goes awkwardly quiet. A knot tightens in my stomach. The energy shifts, and I can feel my excitement unraveling. I glance around, and now everyone's looking at Jacob, waiting for him to say something. "First off, Lily's pregnant," he announces, and the room erupts into cheers again. For a moment, I feel a flicker of hope. But then he adds, "That's the good news. But there's some bad news too." My heart sinks. "What do you mean?" I whisper, my voice barely audible. Jacob takes a deep breath, his shoulders tense. "I had a vasectomy right after my divorce," he says, his voice steady. "So, I don't know how she got pregnant." The room goes silent, stunned. I feel my face flush, cheeks burning as a cold sweat forms. "What?" I blurt out, the words tumbling from my mouth. This can't be happening. I feel like the floor's giving way beneath me. "I want a prenatal paternity test," Jacob continues, his tone cold and firm. my world crashes around me. The tears and joy I felt moments ago seem distant, like some dream I can barely remember. Jacob, please, I beg, my voice trembling, panic rising. This isn't how it was supposed to go. We were supposed to be happy. This was our moment. He raises his hand, silencing me. You ambushed me in front of everyone, he says, his tone resolute, unyielding. Let's deal with this first. I feel the walls closing in. Our friends, our families, they're all looking on, faces frozen in confusion and shock. My parents exchange worried glances, and I feel trapped, cornered. Jacob, just listen to me. I plead, my voice climbing with desperation. We've been together for 5 years. Don't you love me? Don't you trust me? I ask, but Jacob doesn't even flinch. Love and trust don't change the facts, he replies, his voice cold and final. My mom steps forward, trying to intervene. Jacob, you need to understand, this is a huge deal for her, for both of you. Can't you see how much she loves you? But Jacob's expression remains stony. He just shakes his head. I'm sorry, but I need to know the truth before I can think about anything else. A paternity test is the only way. The weight of his words hits me like a punch in the gut. I start feeling like the walls are closing in, trapping me. You're really going to do this? I ask, barely keeping my voice steady. Right here, in front of everyone? Absolutely. Just like you ambushed me, Jacob says, his tone icy and unyielding. Humiliation washes over me in waves. The silence in the room is suffocating now. All the joy, all the excitement from just moments ago has been drained out of the air. I feel like I'm standing in front of a firing squad, everyone's eyes still on me, waiting for something to happen. I can't bear the weight of their stares any longer, so I step back, trying to hold myself together. Okay. I stammer, trying to regain control of the situation. Let's all just calm down for a second. My voice shakes as I continue. This wasn't supposed to go like this. I love you, Jacob. Can't we just focus on that? But Jacob doesn't budge. He stands there, arms crossed, completely unmoved by my pleas. Panic rises in me, and I feel like I'm losing him, losing everything. I wanted to surprise you. I wanted to make you happy, I say, my voice breaking, but it's no use. The moment is already shattered, and now there's nothing left but confusion and hurt. Tears prick at the corners of my eyes. My parents look heartbroken, their disappointment heavy in the air. The room feels smaller, the walls pressing in. Silence weighs down on me like a heavy blanket, suffocating me. Jacob's voice cuts through the tension like a knife. Lily's announcement hit like a thunderclap, and now here we are, staring each other down. And we're going to deal with this right now. I'll be a father to this child if the paternity test proves it's mine, but I can't just take this news at face value. I say firmly, my voice breaking through the tension in the room. I notice a few of my friends nodding, showing they get where I'm coming from. They know I'm not trying to be cruel, I'm just being practical. Jacob, please. Lily's voice cracks, full of desperation. I look at her, and despite everything, it's painful to see her like this. But I remind myself to stick to the facts. You can't just demand a test like it's nothing. She pleads. This is our life, Jacob, our future. Yes, it is, I reply, keeping my tone steady. And I'm willing to take responsibility, but not without knowing the truth. I deserve that much, and so does this child. The room falls into a tense silence, everyone waiting for what comes next. My heart pounds as I keep my eyes locked on her, waiting for her to say something that makes sense. Jacob, please. Lily begins again, her voice trembling. You don't understand. I didn't want things to happen like this. I just wanted us to be happy. I thought. I shake my head, cutting her off. No, Lily. You need to say everything out loud. I can't help you if you're not honest. This is your chance to be real with me. The pressure is crushing. I can see her eyes darting around, looking for an escape. She knows, just like I do, there's no way out of this. She has to face what she's done. With a deep sigh, she glances at our parents, fear plain in her expression. Fine, she finally says, her voice quivering. I wanted to start a family with you, Jacob, but I thought. She hesitates, the words catching in her throat. Thought what? I press, the weight of her confession thick in the air. I thought it wasn't going to happen, she admits, and a collective gasp ripples through the crowd. Everyone leans in, the tension mounting as we all wait for her to continue. I tried everything. Lily continues, her voice breaking. But nothing worked, and I was desperate. I just wanted to have a baby with you. Go on, I say, keeping my tone calm even though my heart's pounding. I ended up sleeping with someone else to get pregnant. She confesses, her voice barely above a whisper. A colleague from work. I thought it would fix everything. Her words hang in the air like a dark cloud. I want to scream, to shout, to lash out, but I force myself to stay in control. So, you cheated on me to get pregnant? I ask, my voice low and quiet, anger bubbling just beneath the surface. I didn't know what else to do. She sobs, tears streaming down her face. I wanted us to get married. I thought if I had a baby, you'd change your mind. I glance at my parents, seeing their faces drawn with worry. But I can't let myself be pulled into feeling sympathy for her. She made her decisions, and now she has to live with them. If you want to be a mother, that's your choice, I say, my voice steady and cold. But I won't be part of this lie. I can't trust you anymore, Lily. The weight of her betrayal hits me all over again, and I can see her beginning to crumble right in front of me. But there's no turning back from this. I turn to our friends, their faces a mirror of my own shock and disbelief. I'm done, I say simply, my voice calm despite the storm brewing inside. The hurt and betrayal, too familiar, cut deep, and I can't believe I'm here again, but I refuse to let her drag me down into this mess. The air feels thick, almost suffocating, as the full impact of it all crashes over me. All eyes remain fixed on us, a sea of silent, stunned faces. All I can think about is the ruin of what was supposed to be our future together. Lily's devastation is obvious, but I can't let that cloud the truth. We're done. There's no going back. I scan the room, disappointment etched into the faces of my friends and family. Lily stands across from me, her expression a raw mix of hurt and regret. My voice trembles as I try. Jacob, please. The words barely come out. I didn't mean for it to happen this way. I thought things would turn out differently. Tears roll down my cheeks, leaving me feeling utterly exposed in front of everyone. But as I look into his eyes, I know that no amount of pleading can erase what I've done. I was desperate, Jacob, I admit, my voice cracking under the weight of it all. I tried so hard, month after month, hoping to get pregnant with you, only to face disappointment every time. I thought if I gave you a child, you'd finally understand how much I love you. I thought it would change everything. I take a step closer, my heart racing. Jacob, I still love you. I've always loved you. I made a terrible mistake, but I didn't think it would end like this. I thought you'd understand. He looks at me, his eyes cold and distant, any warmth long gone. Understand? He says, his voice steady but filled with pain. You really think I can just let this go? You cheated on me, Lily. You thought that was the answer. His calm tone makes it hurt even more, like a quiet storm rolling in. I thought if I got pregnant you'd want to marry me, I say, my voice breaking. I wanted us to be a family. I thought you'd change your mind if I made it happen. But I didn't mean to betray you. The words spill out in desperation, but I can tell it's not getting through. His expression flickers, just for a moment, an emotion I can't read flashes in his eyes. But then he hardens again, the detachment setting in. I feel like I'm standing on the edge of a cliff, ready to fall into an endless void. Please, Jacob, I beg, my voice barely holding together. I'll do anything. Just give me one more chance. I swear I'll make it right. I'll prove that I can be the person you wanted. He shakes his head, his eyes filled with a sad, unwavering finality. Lily, I'm not angry anymore. I've let that go. he says, his tone calm, which somehow only makes his words sting more. But this isn't just about anger. It's about trust. And you broke that. Apologies and promises can't fix that. His words cut deep, and I feel my heart shattering with every syllable. The tears flow freely now, and I know I'm losing him. I can't stop it. I thought we could work through this, Jacob. I managed to say, my voice a whisper. I thought what we had was real. You thought wrong, he replies, firm, though clearly in pain too. You made your choice, and now you have to live with the consequences. His words feel like a slap in the face, and reality hits me. I've messed up beyond repair. There's no fixing this. I can't turn back. I can't undo what's been done. My parents move toward me, trying to offer some comfort, but their presence feels heavy, almost oppressive. I can't face them, and I can't face myself. I'm so sorry, I whisper, my voice barely more than a breath. I never meant to hurt you. Jacob shakes his head, his expression resigned. Just go home, Lily. I can't do this anymore. The finality in his words crushes the last bit of hope I had left. The weight of it all presses down on me, and I feel our last chance slipping away. My parents watch, their faces full of pity and concern, but even their sympathy feels hollow. There's no comfort for me here. I turn to Jacob one last time, desperately searching his eyes for any sign of the love we once shared, but all I see is his resolve. He's made his decision, and there's no changing it now. As I stand there, the reality sets in. I've lost him. I've lost everything I wanted, and it's all because of the choices I made. Tears spill over as I take a trembling breath, feeling like I'm sinking under the crushing weight of my own choices. There's an emptiness inside me, an ache so deep it feels like it'll never go away. The realization settles in. I'm alone now, truly and completely, with nothing but the fallout of what I've done. I try to steady myself, but every breath is heavy, each one harder to take than the last. The walls seem to close in around me, and all I'm left with is regret, an ocean of it, threatening to swallow me whole.